Money, Daniel Ross. I'm talking about money.
You lost your temper, St. Clair, at 7 this morning, and you haven't got it back yet.
I need 50 rupees, and I need them tonight.
What for? You cannot go anywhere.
Come on, Harry, just 50. Be a brick.
Is there a race in the fort tonight?
At midnight.
Where are the horses to run?
At a square in the old quarter.
In 6 weeks, I've barely seen all of the new quarter. Besides, there is no map of the old quarter. It is a labyrinth.
Exactly, but my man showed me how to find this square. It's about a mile or more down that way, past the 7 corridors.
I find it peculiar, to say the least, that these Indians can so easily arrange a horse race in the middle of a revolutionary uprising.
There's this superb pony called Tally Dollar, a real flyer.
You're such a child, Nellie.
But I know I can double my money.
The only way to double your money, dear, is to fold it over once and put it in your pocket.
But I've seen this pony.
We cannot go off duty this evening. We have to keep watch over these 25 gates until sunrise.
Damn this fort, it's as big as England.
It was a mighty palace once. Thousands flocked in and out.
Come on, Harry, let me go off for an hour or so later. You can gatekeep for both of us.
My dear fellow, there is a war on.
Blast, I know that.
Half our Sepia army has run off with the weapons we gave them, and now they are coming back to kill us with those very same weapons.
The rebels won't attack this fort, not with Wazir Khan on the hill.
I do not trust Wazir Khan. He could bolt and join the rebels at any time.
But he's our Maharaja.
A Maharaja belongs to nobody.
But he does. He belongs to the 37th Battalion. We made him an honorary member and gave him a uniform.
You are adorable, Nellie.
He loves us. Harry, lend me.
Why don't you just turn yogi and carry a beggar's bowl?
You can well afford it.
I can afford it, yes. I have not much money, though I have more than you. And I probably never shall be rich, but, as the Indians say, if you lend money, you make a secret enemy.
And if you refuse, you make an open one.
Oh, yes?
Harry.
No.
Please.
Stop whining.
Oh, bugger you, Ross.
Bugger me for 50 rupees. Is that value for money?
You're an odd sort of chap, Ross. I don't know why I do for you.
And you, my dear Nellie, have many good points besides your good looks. Your one fault being that you are weak. The least little bit in all the world weak. You have enough conceit to stop a viceroy's council.
There are other ways of making money. I'm going to sell my commission and settle here.
But you hate India.
Well, what am I to do? I can't live in England on 100 a year.
But you cannot stay here. India has a way of bringing out extremes in people. You must find you a wife back in England, I think. A sweet little pink and white maiden on the government house list with a great deal of money and some influential connections. Possibly Alice Napier.
Alice Napier?
Oh, that would be a match.
Will you help me, Ali?
Oh, certainly. We must be certain that she is clever.
Clever? Why should she be clever? I don't want her to be clever.
Take it from me, my dear, dear Nellie. The silliest woman can manage a clever man, but it necessitates a very clever woman to manage a fool. Good evening, Private.
Small, sir. Jonathan Small. It's my... good evening, Major. It's my first night on the gates, sir, and I feel a bit beef-witted about it all, if you know what I mean.
Certainly, Private. Allow me to explain. The fort has 100 gates. We have just over 100 white men. So it was decided by whoever decides these things that one British soldier and 2 natives would be posted at each gate. There is a central guardhouse. In the event of serious trouble, Captain St. Clair and I will report to it. We are the night's watch for these 25 western gates. In the event of trouble, fire your rifle and we will come. If someone tries to come through the gates, shoot to kill.
Yes, these black devils are very good at creeping in and murdering sleeping men, women and children.
I understand, sir.
Private, I will inspect your men.
For inspection, right press!
Good evening.
Greetings, illustrious buckle on the great death of Queen Victoria.
I am Major Alistair Ross, and this is Captain Neville St. Clair.
Hello, inspiration of the beef-witted.
Fall in! Talk sense to the officers. Tell them your name.
Ah, I am Durga Das, and this is Wali Dar. He is Afghan. Also, he is witless. What? What? This man is mad. The witless are under the protection of God. They foretell future events.
He's a mute, sir, but he's all right.
Fancy.
Is he fit for duty?
His circumstances are depressed, and he is also down on his luck for chat.
This fellow makes me homesick. He speaks in English idioms.
But Major, they are the very best of idioms. Top order by crikey.
Fall in there!
Major, we are behind the schedule.
Before you go, sir, could you tell me which gate this is in case there's any trouble?
Don't you have a map, man?
No, sir. I was marched and called assigned to the gates and I don't know where I am.
As you were, this is a regulation map of the fort. Acquire one as soon as possible. This is the 75th gate. We are here, you see?
Yes, sir.
You must never speak of Indian things, Private Small, without first consulting a map.
I think we should replace this Indian. He is not competent.
Ah, no, do not take him away. He is powerful. I can prove it.
How can you prove it?
In this mutiny, if you know the name of the leader of the rebels, give it to Wali Dad. He can dispatch a sending and kill him.
Major, I must apologize for this nonsense.
Oh, but I'm intrigued, Private. What does he mean by the word sending?
It means a curse.
As you were.
A sending is a horrible arrangement. It is a curse sent by a shamar or wizard, and may take the form of something as insignificant as a piece of paper or as deadly as a man without a face.
A man without a face.
A leper, sir.
Oh, well, that's real enough. There's enough of those poor devils in this diseased country.
Charmers of the skin-hide caste can dispatch a sending which, whatever form it takes, will lie on the breast of their enemy by night and kill him.
Lie on the breast.
It's a symbol of a tombstone, sir.
Gives me the willies.
Wali Dad is a charmer. Let him send a sending for you. Perhaps it will end the mutiny. A god of vengeance will assist.
Don't bring God into it. We are Christians, and that is our religion. Superstition is a religion only for the feeble-minded.
Certain things are not known to people who eat with forks. Perhaps it is better to eat with both hands for a while.
You filthy yellow devil. Private Small, why are you holding me?
I can't let you abuse my men, sir.
Ha, men. They're nothing but a bunch of screaming monkeys, from the Maharaja right down to the untouchables. Speaking of that bastard, he forgot to empty the shit bucket this morning. You might see to that.
I'll see to it, sir, that you don't destroy the good association I have with my men, sir.
Oh, really? Well, I don't associate with yellow niggers.
That's not what the half-castes say. I've heard they bring Indian women to your quarters at all hours.
You have been drinking. What else can explain your extraordinary conduct and opinions which do not reflect the feelings of your fellow officers? Now, we shall finish our rounds and I will put you on report.
Yes, Major.
Gentlemen, I apologize for this officer.
Sahib, will you not rest? Only the devils and the English walk to and fro for no reason. Be wise. No man can endure watching and great thinking on an empty belly. Sit down, Sahib. Eat, Sahib, eat. Meat is good against sorrow. I also have known. Besides, the gods, they come and go. The shadows, they come and go. They come and go. These be curried eggs.
Be still. What is this? Have you joined the rebels? You can talk.
So I can. And you can listen, you can die.
What? Have you joined the rebels? Is this the beginning of the attack? I'll call out the officers will come.
They will not come unless the rifle is fired. But do not concern yourself with that. The fort is safe enough.
Well, get to the point, man. I don't like having a knife at my throat. What is it you want? I've no money. I've got a Waterbury watch. You can have that.
I have over £1 million in jewels. You can have that.
Jewels?
Listen to me. Wazir Khan, the mascot Maharaja, has joined the rebels. But the English do not know. Now the Maharaja is a wise man. You people friends with the lion and the tiger. With the rebels and the British Raj. However, he trusts no one. And he has made such plans that come what might, he would keep his fortune. All the most precious stones and choicest pearls that he owns, he has put into a chest and sends it by a trusted servant on this night to the fort of Agra. This trusted servant now waits not 200 yards from where you sit, Sahib Small. Out there.
This is fantasy.
No, it is kismet. A kismet that only happens once in 100 years.
How do you know this is true?
I have a friend who also serves the Maharaja, and he told me as I was to be posted on the gates and was thus arranged for a few rupees, that the servant, Muhammad Singh, would bring to this gate a chest full of treasure, and I was to let him into my gates.
A chest?
Full of treasure.
I bring it here.
To hide it in the old quarter.
There's no map of the old quarter. It's a labyrinth.
But there is one, Sahib. The servant brings with the chest an ancient scroll from the days of the Mughal Empire that shows a chosen hiding place, a hidden place only seen by scorpions and centipedes for these many years. We were told to kill you, Sahib. And yet, I offer to make you a partner. In your company, we can move freely about the fort, and no one will be curious about the chest.
What about the trusted servant?
Muhammad Singh, if he is captured by the officer Sahibs, he will be hung or shot, and the treasure will be turned over to the English government.
I cannot kill for money.
Do not worry. Durga Das would cut his throat. There is enough wealth to make us all great chiefs. Think of that. And no one can know about the matter, for here we are cut off from all men. What could be better for our purpose? Say then, Sahib, are you with us?
I'm with you, heart and soul.
Durga Das, go and bring Muhammad Singh to the gate. You see that I trust you, Sahib. Your word, like ours, is not to be broken. We must trust each other, for this is a great thing we do. Now, let us prepare.
Christ in heaven.
Wait, this is not Muhammad Singh. It is a leper.
A man without a face! A man without a face! The sending!
The officers have come.
Do not think, Durga Das. Pray, meditate.
Blinded! Loved one! Was it for this I left my people and came with you for the fires of your filthy doors? You said I should never burn. Oh, what have I done? I burn now. I burn. Have mercy, God of things as they are.
Listen to me. This is no curse. The Maharaja tricked you. He sent a leper with the treasure instead of Muhammad Singh because he knew no one would touch a leper.
But I have touched the leper. Behold my face. It is the face of a cobra. Oh, my arm. It is the arm of an old woman. I am cursed. I have lost my caste. Polluted. Untouchable.
Control yourself.
I hear the jinn calling to each other from holes in the sand.
Here is the scroll.
Put it away. Quickly. Take the chest outside the gate. I'll try and get rid of him as quickly as possible.
Who fired that shot? Don't move, any of you.
Private Small, you explain. Who is this man?
He tried to come through the gate, sir.
My God, it's a leper.
What is he holding?
The Maharaja has joined the rebels, but he sent all his jewels to the port to hide them here. They're in that chest.
Can this be true?
It is true, sir.
I have seen this chest at the palace. How did this man come to have his throat cut?
These two were going to kill him and keep the chest.
What went wrong?
The Maharaja, crafty bugger. He was to send the treasure with a servant, but he chose a leper instead.
I see. And what portion, Private Small, did they offer you for your assistance?
As you say, sir. Now, if you will accompany me, I will take that chest to the guardhouse, hand it to the authorities, and turn myself in.
Are you prepared to spend several years on the Andaman Islands? I understand that is to be a particularly nasty prison.
I'm prepared for anything, sir.
There must be 1 million in that chest.
More.
Perhaps there is another way to resolve this situation.
The only way I will consider, if it includes all 5 of us.
What's the matter with him? Come along, man, we're not going to hurt you.
Jesus! He's killed himself.
Because he touched the leper.
He said there was a curse, and now he's dead.
Give that to me.
Nellie, a word.
Give me the scroll. No, give me the scroll, quickly. I have a way, trust me.
We have been making plans.
Yes, private small. If we are to be successful, we must act quickly. Run to the guardhouse and tell the 2 Indians have been shot trying to enter the fort.
Hurry, man, as they come to investigate.
I will return quickly.
It is no good, is it?
Oh, you can speak.
I speak too well. And in this new India of white voices, it is best to be silent and listen.
Well, you're very convinced.
Do not flatter me, Sahib. I could not play the clever fool as well as my friend could.
Come now, man. We're not going to hurt you.
You mean there is room for me in your plans?
Of course.
Strange. The bloom of the peach orchard tree is upon the valley, and here is only dust and a great stink.
Come along, man. We're all in this together.
Together? How the whites of my eyes clouded as the blood beat in my wrist.
What of your share of the treasure?
The treasure is yours.
But why?
Why? Because white-faced, white-two pariahs are not to be trusted with brown skin.
Kill him!
Done. What about small?
You must have time to think.
Why share 3 ways?
Why, we are greedy.
He's an Indian lover.
We'll never succeed if he is with us. We'll have to get rid of him.
Christ, Ali, 3 deaths. I mean, what about this curse business? Do you think there's anything in it?
I knew a family once that had a curse on its firstborn.
What happened?
It turned out to be the plumbing. As soon as they had new drains installed in the house, the curse was lifted, as I recall. Never knew the family myself. So, shall I open it? Will you look on your future, Nellie?
I'm afraid
Of what?
it will be empty.
People say there is no romance in India. Those people are wrong. Our lives hold quite as much romance as is good for us. Often more.
All the stars of heaven in a box, Ali. And it's ours, yours and mine.
Put it back!
It's all good. They're sending some men to pick up the bodies. We must hurry. Where's Wally now?
He ran away.
I thought I had a shot.
You did. We couldn't have him carrying news of his tale to his friends.
God forgive me, I promised I'd help him. I shouldn't have left him with you.
You can't trust them.
And you? Can I trust you? Yes. I think I can. Without me, you can't keep that chest.
What do you mean?
If you kill me, where do you think you're going to hide it?
Go on.
The Maharaja knew a thing or two. This is his home. He studied this fort. Wouldn't you say we should follow his plan?
Which was,
He sent a scroll, a map of the old quarters. On it is marked the one place, the only place in this whole rabbit warren where that treasure can be safely hidden. And I know where it is.
Give this scroll to us.
Ah, don't be a fool. I put it in a safe place on the way to the guardhouse. Now, you need me as much as I need you.
I don't think so. We can hide the treasure in our rooms.
Are you going to be in your room all day? Can you trust your Indian servants?
He's right, Nellie. They find it in a minute.
He's not right. He can't be. There must be another way.
You better decide quickly. The half-caste will be coming shortly to pick up the bodies.
Well, what do you propose?
I shall hide the chest for you now according to the scroll. When we return to England, you can transport it in your baggage, and we can divide it equally over there. They never check the officers' books, but they check mine.
Very true.
So, we are agreed, are we? Well, right. Now, I propose a covenant,
What for?
a gesture of good faith.
A paper? You want us to have a paper which says we, the undersigned, have committed 2 murders and caused a suicide while acquiring a great fortune, but we promise in the future to be very kind to one another, to the best of our abilities. You would have us put our names to something like that.
I don't want your names, I want your blood.
What do you mean?
I mean a blood oath, Captain. An oath sworn in your own blood, which you break at your peril.
That's sacrilegious. You're as mad as the Indians.
Will you do it, yes or no?
we consider to be evil. And you want money, Nellie. It's all you ever bloody want. Do it!
I can't. I've got the shavings.
Here, take this.
What is it?
Clean down that opium, it'll steady your nerves. Now do it, Captain Sinclair.
Now, what shall we swear?
Capable of accomplishing that without my assistance.
You are developing a certain vein of corky humour, Watson, against which I must learn to guard myself.
Ah, excuse me. I was officiating at a foot race for medical students in Pimlico. The post is here.
You know where to put it.
Holmes, I must speak with you. I don't know whether it is the claret which I have taken with my lunch, or the exasperation produced by the extreme deliberation of your manner, but I suddenly feel I can hold out no longer.
Ah, I see. You wish to try it.
Try it indeed. I cannot afford that kind of strain upon my constitution.
I suppose you're right. I find it, however, so clarifying to the mind that its secondary, more destructive action is a matter of small moment.
Is it? But consider, count the cost. And I say this as a medical man. It is a pathological and morbid process which involves tissue change and may at last leave a permanent weakness. Surely the game is hardly worth the candle.
My mind rebels at stagnation. Idleness exhausts me completely, which is why I've had to spend most of today in bed. Give me problems, give me work, give me the most abstruse cryptogram or the most intricate analysis, and I am in my own proper atmosphere, but I abhor the dull routine of existence. I am frustrated, Watson.
That is not the solution.
Nonsense. Frustrate a Frenchman, he will drink himself to death. An Irishman, he will die of combustion. A Dane, he will shoot himself. An American, he will shoot you, establish $1 million of trust for your relatives, then he will die of an ulcer. A 7% solution of cocaine is my solution.
And it is my contention that far from clarifying the brain, these stimulants cloud it and cause it to function at a small percentage of its full reasoning power.
Rubbish.
Would you think me impertinent if I were to put my theory to a test?
On the contrary, I should be delighted to look into any problem requiring clear-sightedness which you might submit to me, and in the first delicious onslaught of this extraordinary property.
I have heard you say that it is difficult for a man to have any object with him in daily use without leaving the impress of his individuality upon it. Now, I have here a watch, which has recently come into my possession. Would you let me have an opinion as to the character or habits of its late owner?
There are hardly any doubt that the watch has been recently cleaned, which has robbed me of my most suggestive facts.
You are right. The watch was cleaned before being sent to me. I must point out, however, that you have put forward a most lame and impotent excuse to cover your failure.
Though unsatisfactory, my research has not been entirely without success. It is a 50-guinea watch, hence it was owned by a gentleman. Alas, he was possessed of untidy habits. He was left with good prospects, but he threw away his chances, living for some time in poverty, with occasional bursts of prosperity. Then, finally, taking to drink, he died. The watch has, in fact, been in the hands of your elder brother.
This is unworthy of you, Holmes. You have made inquiries into the history of my unhappy brother, and you now pretend to deduce this knowledge in some fanciful way. You cannot expect me to believe that you have read all this from his own watch.
My dear friend, accept my apologies. Viewing the matter as an abstract problem, I have forgotten how personal and painful a thing it might be to you. I assure you, however, that I never even knew you had a brother until you'd handed me the watch.
Then how, in the name of all that is wonderful, did you get these facts? They are absolutely correct in every particular. This is not guesswork.
No, I never guess. It is a shocking habit, destructive to the logical faculty. I began by stating that your brother was careless. If you observe the lower part of that watch case, you will see that it is cut and marked all over from the habit of keeping other hard objects, such as coins and keys, in the same pocket. It is customary for pawnbrokers in England, when they take a watch, to scratch the number of the ticket with a pin upon the inside of the watch case. There are no fewer than 4 such numbers visible to my lens, inference is that your brother was often at low water, but he had occasional bursts of prosperity. Otherwise, he could not have redeemed the pledge. Look at the inner plate, which contains the keyhole. There are thousands of scratches all round the keyhole, marks where the key has slipped. You'll never see a drunkard's watch without them. He winds his watch at night and leaves these traces of his unsteady hand. Lastly, you said that the watch had come into your possession, meaning that you did not buy it. The initials HW on the back suggest your family name. If the watch was left to you as a legacy, and since your father has been dead these many years, it can only mean that it is a bequest from your late elder brother. Where is the mystery in all this?
I apologize, Holmes. In future, I will have more faith in your marvelous faculty.
No, I am the slave of my faculty. I cannot live without brain work. I am a brain, Watson. The rest of me is a mere appendix.
I am Irene Sinclair.
And I am Sherlock Holmes. This is Dr.
Holmes!
Watson.
Please forgive me, gentlemen. I have been frightened, almost out of my wits.
Pray, Miss St. Clair, take a moment or two to compose yourself.
The street is so crowded because of Her Majesty's Jubilee. It took me hours to get here. I have read of your exploits, Mr. Holmes, but I fear you would not wish to be of service to me.
Because you have no money.
How could you possibly know that?
Oh, in the indications of female poverty, there can be no disguise. No woman dresses below herself from caprice.
You really are an automaton, a calculating machine. There is something positively inhuman about you at times. How can you be so rude?
It is of the first importance not to allow your judgments to be biased by personal qualities.
Dr. Watson, you are very kind, but I prefer absolute candor. To love the truth is to refuse to let oneself be saddened by it.
Miss St. Clair, I pray that you will lay before us everything that may help us in forming an opinion upon this matter. As to reward, my profession is its own reward, and my fees are somewhat defrayed. For the moment, my last client was a sort of king.
Shall I order you a cup of hot coffee, for I observe you are shivering?
It is not the cold which makes me shiver.
What then?
It is fear, Dr. Watson. It is terror.
I am all attention.
This arrived at the post yesterday morning.
Dated June 1857. Exactly 30 years ago. Curious.
The thing is innocent enough. It might be the work of a child. When my father opened it, he fell unconscious to the floor, badly cutting his head. I put him in his bed, and he remained there for the rest of the day. He would not talk about it. Later that evening, I heard him scream. I ran into his room. It was there that I had the shock of my life. He was cowering in the corner like a frightened child, muttering over and over again something about a curse. It was pitiful. And then I saw it.
Please, go on. What did you see?
Hanging on the outside of the window, a hideous shadow, like a large cross stretched out over the pane. It was too small to be a man, and yet I am sure that it was substantial. Then it vanished.
What did you do?
I sent for the police. They came, they searched the house and the yard. The window is on the second floor. Their conclusion, naturally enough, was that we've been the victim of an hallucination.
Typical.
Mr. Holmes, I am not an hysteric and I am not superstitious. I am certain that I saw it.
I believe you absolutely, Miss St. Clair.
Thank heavens. Well, the police were kind enough to leave a man to watch the house. This morning, when I went into his room, my father was gone.
And you have no idea as to the significance of this paper?
None. Oh, it breaks my heart to think of him alone and terrified, wandering in the fog.
Do you have any idea where he might have gone?
Yes, I do. Dr. Watson, Mr. Holmes, I hope you will not turn me away.
My dear young woman, why should we do that?
My father is an opium addict.
I am sorry to hear it.
That is how the little money we have has been spent.
Sounds to me as though your father should be soundly thrashed.
Dr. Watson, I love my father. I tell you his story because you must know the truth if you are to advise me. But if you malign him,
Clare. Your loyalty is admirable.
It is not blind loyalty. Something happened to him long ago. It heavily affected his heart and mind. It is a singular sort of depression which comes over you.
And it was these moods that drove him to opium?
That drove him to addiction. As you surely know, there are places in the East End of London where one may go to breathe in the poison.
Indeed, Miss St. Clair, Limehouse. But these places are not free of charge. How can a man without money support such a habit?
There is a Major Alistair Ross, who lives at Maidenhead in a gloomy house called Pottercherry Lodge. Whenever we find ourselves reduced to our last farthings, Father goes to him and returns with £5 or £10. When this money runs out, he repeats the process.
Miss St. Clair, would you excuse me for a few moments? I would like to examine this paper in my room. I have 1 or 2 chemicals which might throw some light on its origins.
I'd be grateful if you did.
I hope your mind is more at ease, Miss St. Clair.
Oh, Dr. Watson, I have done nothing but snatch you like a turtle since we've met.
Well, if I may take the liberty of contradicting you, it is quite the contrary. You have opened my eyes.
How?
I was beginning to believe that all the young women of London were lisping, coy simpletons with barely enough sense to take care of those yapping little dogs they seem to take with them wherever they go. But your honesty and courage in the face of hardships that would drive an ordinary young woman mad fill me with awe. You are extraordinary.
I do not wish to be extraordinary. I wish I were a simpleton without a care in the world. Forgive me. What can you think of me? It has just occurred to me that I have no friends. Since our circumstances forced us to move to Camberwell, our neighbours think us too grand and will not associate with us. While our friends think us too low and have dropped us. I've never seen anyone of my own age or position. It is a comedy. Now I find myself seeking help from 2 perfect strangers. Until this moment, I at least had my pride.
And you have it still. The seat of pride is in the heart, and only there.
Do not pity me.
But I do, and I shall. We pity in others only those evils which we have ourselves experienced. I have just lost a brother. The story of your father was like his own.
What is your name?
John. Will you call me John? Will you think of me as your friend?
Your eyes are kind.
Is that so rare?
I have seen eyes that threaten like loaded pistols.
Miss St. Clair, did your father serve in India?
Yes, Mr. Holmes. How did you guess that?
You mentioned another military man, Major Ross, and this paper is in Indian papyrus, not available in England. My dear, I do not wish to alarm you, but I think that we should leave for Camberwell at once. Perhaps your father has returned. If not, we may find some clue as to his whereabouts.
I did not mention that we lived in Camberwell, Mr. Holmes. Not to you.
They are digging up the area around the post office in Camberwell, are they not? The red clay on the soles of your boots is indigenous only to that area of London.
Mr. Holmes, you take my breath away.
It is amazing.
It is elementary. But this is not.
Well, what have you discovered, Holmes?
I cannot say. It is dangerous to reason from insufficient data. Fetch an umbrella, Watson. There's a storm brewing. The game is afoot. Miss St. Clair, I can understand your terror.
What do you mean?
There is a mystery about this which stimulates the imagination. Where there is no imagination, there is no horror. The markings on this paper were made with blood.
Holmes, perhaps you could manage to be less outspoken. Are you all right, Miss Sinclair?
My family seems to be the grounds for some inexorable evil. There's no foresight, no precaution to guard against. I would almost believe that we were all cursed.
Watson, be kind enough to fetch a cab from the stand, a four-wheeler. Miss St. Clair, I want you to explain exactly what you meant by that. Why did you use the word curse?
It began 30 years ago, when my father returned from India. He had no money. He married my mother, Alice Napier, who had a considerable fortune, not less than £10,000 a year. People said this was the reason for their marriage. But I know he loved her. almost from the beginning. He gambled heavily and chased after adventurous business investments. Within a few years, our fortune was gone. Another year or two till the seizure of our estate by creditors. As a child, I remember being bussed over and dressed by servants. But then almost overnight, moved into a small, dingy house in Camberwell, where my sister and I had adored the world. Then my sister died. And last year, my mother was taken from us. She died in a railway accident near Crewe. Do you believe in the supernatural, Mr. Holmes?
I do not discount it.
I have a cab.
I will not try to thank you.
Ah, but I will thank you, Miss Sinclair, and our lucky fate which has rescued me from the insufferable fatigues of idleness.
Major? Major, sir? Sir!
What are you about then?
I'm just cleaning up, sir. That's all. Just cleaning up.
Oh, you are a fox, Bertie. You are an exceedingly cunning fox with that demure visage of yours.
Oh, not be called a fox, sir.
Oh, not be called a fox, sir. Really, Bertie, your wit is in the shallowest order. It reaches neither a sword or a proverb. A sucking babe could challenge you. What are you staring at?
I wasn't staring at anything. I was supposed to...
There's a lesson for you.
I won't take any sort of abuse. I won't endure it.
Oh, really? What will you do? Go and tell your mother?
Sorry, sir.
That's better, dear boy. Your mother will be spared for this evening. What are you doing in here?
Well, there's a peddler at the door, sir.
A peddler? Give him a shilling out of your own pocket if he moves you. That is all these fellows ever want.
Well, you said he had something to value this all, sir. Something with jewels in it. Well, I know you told me never turn it.
Your voice is a pistol crack. Pray spare me the sound of it by not repeating things to me that I have already said to you. Where is this peddler?
He's just outside, sir.
Bring him in.
This way. This way.
Good day to you, master.
You're a stranger in these parts?
Aye, master. Just put ashore at Gravesend.
And what business brings you to Berkshire?
I hope to sell one or two items acquired during my travels.
You've been deceived then.
Aye, master. Just lately come up the river from an Indian voyage.
Oh, India.
Ah, yes, master. That great four-square sink of humanity.
And I'm told you have something to show me? Something with jewels?
Nothing to match the opulence of that gem on your little finger, master.
Well, we will see. What have you got for me? What have you got to sell?
A small casket.
Well, I shall inspect it by the window while the light lasts. Bring it over here. What's all this?
Mother of pearl and hand-hammered brass.
It is dull workmanship, not very good at all.
Ah, look at the contents, not the box. Open it.
Oh, a Chris.
Yes, capable of the most ferocious wounds. Marvelous workmanship, don't you agree? And very rare. Do you have a safe to put it in?
What's that to you?
Oh, nothing at all, sir. But with real diamonds and rubies, you can't be too sure.
What are you doing over there?
Oh, just looking about, sir. Looking about. Taking stock of a gentleman's sitting room. Not much to see, is there, in the way of display? Not if you were sitting here all day and just looking about you. How did you come to lose the use of your legs, if I may be so bold as to ask?
Damn your impertinence. How did you come to lose yours, come to that?
It were chewed off.
By what?
The mouth of greed.
What?
Greed, sir, is greed. You know what greed is, surely.
Surely I know that you are mad.
Perhaps I am. Perhaps I came in friends. Perhaps I'm enamored of your vast expanse of thought and am determined to be a customer of it.
Sir, Captain St. Clair's here for you, sir.
Oh, marvellous. Very clever boy, very clever. Bring him in and show this fellow out, and if he comes begging again, beat him with a club. Try to intimidate me, will you? Get out! Get out of my house!
Good day to you, master.
Bring Nellie in here at once. Hurry, hurry!
Yes, sir.
That servant of yours, can he be trusted?
What sort of a greeting is that, Nellie? I've not seen you for months.
Can he be trusted?
Yes, of course, of course. You remember his mother, she was the old housekeeper here, the whole sour-faced bitch. I put temptation in her way in the form of money, and of course, she took it. You see, I had my eyes on her handsome little son here. Now I had her sign a confession, which is now in my solicitor's files. In the event that anything happens to me, or if Birdie misbehaves, the letter goes to the police, and Birdie's mother goes to prison. Does that answer your question?
Boy,
Oh, Birdie.
you probably shouldn't tell anyone. It was between you and me, you remember?
Oh, I have a wild thing in the house.
Perhaps you do, sir. You know what? Perhaps instead of a fox in your house, you've got a tiger in your house, sir.
A cat in gloves, Birdie, catches no mice. What's the matter with you, Nellie? You look dreadful.
The curse, I've seen it. A great cross across my window.
It's the opium, dear, you imagine things.
No, there's more. Small is alive.
What?
His piece of the oath that came in the mail yesterday. It was posted in London.
If he is alive, and I don't for a moment believe that he is, he does not want you or me. There is something in a treasure which fastens on a man's mind. It has driven you to ruin, and it has obsessed my every waking moment.
Give it to him. If he comes here, just give it to him, for Christ's sake. He's earned it. Take it to the bank or wherever it is you keep it and give it to him.
I will never give it up, and it's not in a bank.
Oh, I knew it. It's here, isn't it? In this house.
In this very room.
But I gave up my share. I told you I didn't want anything to do with it. I gave it to you. I freed myself from the curse.
Oh, yes, you freed yourself from the curse. You removed the burden of guilt from your shoulders. You gave up the treasure. But you've always come back to it, haven't you? All these years after you threw away the Napier fortune, which I helped you to win, you've always come back to it whenever you needed money, and I have kept it. I watched over it and kept it pure.
But you don't spend it. You don't enjoy it. Why keep it?
It's the having. The possession alone is my strength. It is the warmth of my blood, the energy of my soul. Not to have my wasted lifetime back again when I give up the great Agra treasure. Why do you think my legs failed me? I have no need of them. I am content to sit in this empty room and guard it like a dragon in a cave. Here, night and day, I have gazed upon it. My soul has drunk in its radiance.
I don't want to see.
You are not worthy to see, even from far off, the luster of the finest gems ever concocted in the laboratory of nature.
I beg you, have you put it back?
Oh, you're still afraid. I still remember your last glance at it 30 years ago, just before the lid fell down, and ever since then it has been blazing for you in secret, gathering its splendor against the moment when you look upon it again. Let that moment be now. It will flash upon you like the noonday sun.
I won't look.
Well, then shade your eyes. When I die, it will be buried with me forever. Oh, will it not make a rare lamp for a sepulchre? Will it not burn brightly in a tomb? Then it shall blaze for ages, keeping bright my memory, the memory of a hero. Out!
There's a Mr. Sherlock Holmes at the door for you, sir.
Sherlock Holmes, who is that?
A detective.
Oh, that crank who always attracts attention in the newspapers.
There's a doctor with him, and the captain's daughter as well.
I
Is this your doing?
No, but I'm glad they're here.
No. Let me do the talking. I will get rid of you.
Let them stay. Let them help us. Small is out there.
Don't be absurd. We took good care of that. Don't you remember?
Oh, my dear, let me look at you.
Did you bring these people here, Irene?
Yes, they are my friends. They are going to help us.
Major Ross, I assume. I'm
Sherlock Holmes, the murder fancier. Whatever could have brought you to Maidenhead? Why aren't you in London, Mr. Holmes, that great cesspool of crime?
My word.
It is my belief, Major Ross, founded upon experience, that the vilest alleys of London do not present a more dreadful record of sin than does the smiling and beautiful countryside.
Is this your daughter, Nellie?
Yes, Major Ross, we have met before.
Oh, but you have grown so beautiful. Oh, truly you are your father's daughter, almost as beautiful as he once was.
I'll be bound.
And now his grace has faded.
Now see here, Major Ross.
Yes. When my father's grace faded in my eyes, I found it again in my heart.
Charming, simply charming. Oh, but what an honor. There hasn't been a woman in this house since dear Bernie's mother left my employ. Oh, this is my manservant, Bernie Johnson. Pray do not ask him any questions. I'm afraid his mind is still in its original state of white paper.
Do you require anything else, sir?
No, a few chairs for a start. I'm afraid that my general disinclination for company has rather turned my sitting room into a standing room. You are a doctor?
I am.
Ah, ignorant profession. You know, Mr. Holmes, they say that any house you enter is turned upside down. Nothing but guessing and speculating and guessing. Footmen and parlourmaids speculating in the kitchen, grooms and gardeners speculating in the shrubbery. She said that in the stables of the houses you visit, the very horses enter speculative posturing.
Clap an extinguisher on your irony, man. Your life may be in danger.
What do you mean?
Calm yourself, Major Ross. Take a pinch of your snuff.
How do you know I use snuff?
Although you are careful to remove all traces of it from your face with a handkerchief, you keep up the sleeve of your dressing gown, a true military habit. The nail of the index finger on your left hand, you are left-handed, is encrusted with a burgundy powder which, due to its unique hue, can only be the Maharini brand of snuff created by the East India Company. Come in, Mr. Johnson. 2 inches of solid oak is not conducive to eavesdropping.
And again, Bernie, corrigible boy. You see, Mr. Holmes, the entire neighbourhood turns out to feel practical on even the half-witted. Oh, come on, Bernie, light a candle or something. You can hardly see a magnifying glass in front of your face.
You fail to amuse me.
And you, me. You say that my life is in danger? What possible reason did you have to offer such a monstrous assertion?
Perhaps this.
Where did you get that?
My client, Miss St. Clair, brought it to us. She is afraid for her father.
He does not need her fear. He has enough of his own.
Ah, so you have seen it.
No,
I think you have. You'll tell me everything you know about this paper.
I know nothing about it. I've never seen it before in my life. If you are so eager for your information, Mr. Holmes, why do you not deduce it for yourself? That is your forte, is it not? Deduction? Or is it beyond you? Have your powers let you down?
They have not. Pray do not fear for me, Major Ross, I beg you.
Oh, well then, please entertain an old man. What can it all mean? Deduce, man, deduce.
It is a crucifer, meaning that which bears a cross. Among the Christians, it signified a sacred oath that was never written down, so that their plans would remain secret. This one is unique as it is drawn in blood. A strong light and a convex lens will further show that there are 3 separate thumbprints, also in blood, made whilst handling the paper. The other side is a section of a regulation map of a fort with many gates. Some 45 are shown, and this is only the centre. A man of education thinks immediately of the Red Fort of Agra, the only structure in the world with 100 gates. It is common knowledge that you and St. Clair both served during the mutiny. So, here is a desperate gesture, an oath in blood, in a time of revolution. But what is out of the common is usually a guide rather than a hindrance. These bloody thumbprints, for instance, tell their own tale. No 2 thumbprints are alike. Captain St. Clair fell in his hallway yesterday, leaving some bloody prints along the wall. This is his thumbprint. I believe this second print to be yours. What I want from you, Major Ross, is the following information. Who was the third man? What was the oath? And, most importantly of all, in the event that that oath be broken, what precisely was the curse that would ensue?
Really, Mr. Holmes, if you'd lived 100 years ago, you'd have been burned.
Incredible.
And before anything else, I want to see your piece of it.
My piece of it. Please do not waste my time.
You keep it about you.
As you see.
And now, Captain, yours.
Good heavens!
It is an alarming object, is it not, Watson? Now, gentlemen, I will ask you again. Who was the third man?
His name is Jonathan Small.
What have you done, you blithering idiot? Get out of my house, take your friends and leave!
No, Major Ross, I beg you. Help us untangle this horror. Can we not help each other? Can we not all be friends?
Friends? You speak to me of friends? The world is nothing but a great dog kennel. I learned that in India, in the Rajasthan desert. It was the middle of July and the heat was intolerable. I was stationed there, struck down with a fever and confined to my tent. It was a full moon that night, and in consequence every hound for a mile was baying it. They always gathered in 3s and 4s, very much like friends, and their conjoined sound drove me frantic. So I shot one loud-mouthed singer and strung his carcass up 50 yards away from my tent to dissuade the others. But rather than be put off, they fell upon, fought over, and ultimately devoured their friend, and it seemed to me renewed their hymns of thanksgiving with increased fervour. And that is how I learned the nature of friendship from a pack of dogs.
This dog is still alive!
You!
Yes, it is I, Jonathan Small, the best dog of the rich, and he's not dead yet!
I cannot recognize him! He has a wooden stump!
Quickly, Watson, after him. Not that way, man. Use your eyes. Lock that window and follow me. Mr. Johnson, not let anybody in this room. Hurry, Watson.
Miss Claire, will you be alright?
Yes, I'm not afraid. No, wait! The candle!
Irene, where are you?
I'm here, Father. Father.
Bernie! Bernie, where are you? Light a candle, man!
But I have to go to the kitchen and get one. But this I was.
Go now!
The girls descended is here!
Who is that? Who is there? Bernie? Bernie, is that you? The black devil! He is watching the whole time! He knows where it is! You cowards! It is mine!
How much longer must we wait?
Holmes has sent for Inspector Lestrade of Scotland Yard. We must give our evidence as to the details of this murder. Then we can go back to London and find your father.
I hope we are not too late.
Inspector Lestrade, this is my client, Miss Sinclair.
How do you do, miss? Nasty business, nasty business. We'll conclude our investigation as soon as possible, and you can leave this dreary place.
Whatever I can do, Inspector.
As Major Ross, I hope you haven't touched anything, Holmes. Good evening, Watson.
Lestrade?
Well, to work. Find your place and hold it, find your work and do it, and put everything you've got into it. That's what I say.
What will you do now?
I suppose anything I can do is turn to Camberwell and wait for my father.
He will not go back to Camberwell.
No.
I don't think it is wise for you to go there either. I would suggest that you return with us to Baker Street for tonight.
That's a splendid idea, Holmes. She can have my room and I'll sleep in the sitting room.
I don't want to cause any bother. I just want to find my father.
My dear, there were 2 horses in the stable. They are both gone. Mr. Johnson and your father have unquestionably taken them. They escaped while Watson and I were pursuing Small. By now they're in London, and I know that we can find them before anything else happens. Where do you think your father has gone?
To Limehouse.
To an opium den?
Yes.
My work has taken me to such places before, and I have 1 or 2 favours owing me in that district. Promise me you will not worry. We will leave here shortly.
I promise.
I have examined the body and the room. Now, from what Holmes has told me about what happened here before the phantom appeared, I would say it is all very simple.
Really?
Yes. Yes, of course. lightning struck, its shadow fell on the room. This man, Ross, was finished off, but there are no marks on the body, so he obviously died of a heart seizure. The man was ill to judge by his wheelchair, so he was finished off by terror and possibly guilt. As to the others, the manservant and your father, they ran away because they were frightened, and all because of a pie tree. You have all been the victims of a common hallucination.
Well, is that it, Lestrade? Those are your conclusions?
They are.
Then let me to congratulate you. You have done very well indeed. It is true you have managed to miss every detail of importance.
I beg your pardon?
My dear Lestrade, you know me too well to think that I am boasting when I say that I shall destroy your theory by means which you are quite incapable of employing or even understanding.
What means are those?
Intelligence and common sense. Beginning with the victim, you failed to notice the two very small punch marks on either side of the neck.
I noticed them. The man was obviously a careless shaver.
Fancy. And is this his razor?
What's that? Looks like a thorn.
It is a thorn. Be careful, for it is unquestionably poison.
Poison?
Precisely. The enforced administration of poison is by no means a new thing in criminal annals. The case of Dolsky, Odessa, and of Lecoq in Montpellier would occur at once to any toxicologist.
What does all this mean?
It means murder, Lestrade. What do you think it means? Watson, yes, sir. Just put your hand here on this poor fellow's arm and here on his leg. What do you feel?
Well, the muscles are as hard as a board. They're in a state of extreme contraction, far exceeding the usual rigor mortis.
Quite so. Coupled with this distortion of the face, this Hippocratic smile, or rhesus sardonicus, as the old writers called it, what would it suggest to your mind?
Well, death from some powerful vegetable alkaloid.
Alkaloid?
A substance such as strychnine, which would produce tetanus.
Excellent, Watson. You really are invaluable. That is the thought which first occurred to me the instant I saw his face. Upon getting into the room, I at once began to look for the means by which the poison had been entering the system. As you saw, I discovered a thorn which had been driven or shot into the victim's neck. Now, examine the thorn. Is that an English thorn?
I'm scarcely an expert at thorn tones.
Quite right. Now I'm going to strain your powers to their height. A few moments after Small appeared at the window, and at what must have been the precise moment of the murder, Watson and I saw him getting into the cab which brought us here. He then instructed the driver to take him to the station, and immediately got out the other side, disappearing into the trees, leading us on a merry chase.
Then there was someone else involved.
Exactly. A very able and efficient ally.
Ally?
Yes. And this is where this case assumes features of genuine singularity. I fancy that the nature of this ally breaks fresh ground in the annals of crime in this country, although parallel cases do suggest themselves from Mozambique, and if my memory serves me, from Senegambia.
Well, what do you mean?
To begin with, how came he into the room? Johnson was guarding the door, and the window was locked.
Yes, I locked it myself.
Did you?
I simply don't understand. I swear to you, Holmes, I locked that window. I'll take my oath on it.
But even open, the window is too small for a man to come through.
Thank you, Miss Sinclair. Now, observe. The floor is covered with prints of a naked foot.
So it is.
Clear, well-defined, perfectly formed, but scarce half the size of those of an ordinary man.
Holmes, you mean a child has done this horrid thing?
No. No, the child has not done this.
Ah. So what does all this mean?
My dear Lestrade, you know my methods. From all these data, you should be able to infer some just inference. Naked foot marks, diminutive feet, great agility, poisoned darts, well...
A savage, an Indian who was associated with Small during the mutiny.
Superb, Watson. You really are informed tonight. A savage, certainly, but not, I think, an Indian. Some men of the peninsula are small, but none could have left such marks as these. The Hindu cropper has long and thin feet, and the sandal-wearing Mohammedan has his great toe well separated from the others to accommodate the thong that is generally passed between them. These darts, as well, could only be shot in one way. They're from a blowpipe. Now, Lestrade, where do we find our savage?
Well, how the hell should I know?
Andaman Islands, 440 miles west of Rangoon, in the Bay of Bengal. Mark that, Watson. The Aborigines of the Andaman Islands are perhaps one of the smallest races upon this earth. They are a fierce, morose, and intractable people, but capable of most devoted friendships once their confidence has been gained.
Your knowledge seems to be inexhaustible. But how did Jonathan Small come to have such a singular companion?
Well, the Andaman Islands are the largest British prison in India. Small has obviously been there since the mutiny, and he has made friends with a pygmy islander who undoubtedly helped him to escape from that hellhole.
Remarkable.
And meretricious. What we are concerned about here is motive. Our pygmy islander was carrying something rather heavy when he left this room.
How could you possibly know that?
If you had read my monograph on footprints and their relation to weight, you would know the answer to that, Lestrade.
I did. Found it frightfully boring.
The footprints leading away from the window are half an inch deep. The footprints leading up to the wheelchair are an inch deep. And this wheelchair has a hidden compartment. These things would be apparent to you if you would use your eyes.
I was going to check that chair.
What do you make of it?
I don't know what to make of it.
That is because precisely at the beginning of this inquiry you failed to grasp the importance of the most apparent clue presented to you. The Crucifer. 2 officers in command of a fort in India swore a secret and sacred oath of loyalty with this man, Small. The size and the weight of what was concealed in that chair and the time and the place leads one to conclude that they had stolen some invaluable treasure of some kind. Small helps them to secure the treasure, and they betray him. Forgive me, Miss Sinclair.
No. Now at least I know. Whatever crime my father has committed, he's paid 1,000 times over.
But all this is mere theory.
No, it is more than that. It is the only hypothesis which covers the facts. And let us see how it fits in with the sequel. Ross remains at peace for some years, happy in his possession of the treasure. Sinclair rejects it, fearing the oath in his own blood which he has broken. Then he receives a letter which gives him a terrible fright.
A piece of the agreement that proved the man they had wronged had been set free.
Or had escaped. That is much more likely. Does this reasoning strike you as faulty?
No, it is clear. The case is complete.
Not quite. This murder could not have been committed without help from inside the house. There are 2 puncture marks in Ross's neck, yet only 1 dart. Yet another accomplice unlocked the window. That same accomplice retrieved the dart.
And the man Johnson, he must be the accomplice. There's no one else.
You mean the butler did it? Really, Lestrade?
Or her father.
Oh, God!
Oh, Lestrade, your methods are as subtle as those of your tailor.
What do you mean?
Never mind.
Well, why not? Sinclair and Small could have formed an alliance to revenge themselves on Ross and recover the treasure.
If that were true, I would never allow it to remain in our family after the havoc it has caused.
I'm happy that you feel that way. That treasure belongs to the British government.
But where is it?
Small has it.
I would like to see it. I would like to look on that thing that has destroyed the lives of everyone around.
I promise you, Miss Sinclair, that once we retrieve the treasure, you shall gaze upon it to your heart's content. How are you feeling?
I'm terribly afraid for my father.
Then let us leave here at once. We can collect your things along the way. Come along, Lestrade, we have work to do.
We do?
Yes. I must know what happened that night at the Agra fort. What was the curse should the earth be broken? Why is the crucifer placed on Ross's chest?
Well, I would like to know whether Watson locked that window or not. Your whole guess about an accomplice rests on that point.
I never guess. Dr. Watson is a sterling fellow. If he says he locked a window, he locked it. He's not a mental deficient like some members of the Metropolitan Police.
Miss Sinclair, would you stay a moment?
What is it, Dr. Watson?
I wish you would call me John. I want to say something to you.
Yes.
It's just that... don't concern yourself with the future. I hope you will let me help you. I should be proud to be responsible for you. I'm sorry, I don't know what I'm saying. I'm all feelings. I've never met anyone like you.
How kind you are. In these days of perfect manners, it is so refreshing to see anything like a natural expression on a man's face.
Miss Sinclair, Irene, I must tell you...
Dr. Watson, it's been an amazing day. We've been hurled into each other's lives with the force of a hurricane. I do not understand any of the things that I feel. But I owe you and Mr. Holmes my sanity. You are a man of such delicacy. I am sure you understand.
Of course I do. Come, let us go at once.
What is it?
The Crucifer. Holmes said it was the most important clue, and yet he left it behind. Do you think I should take it?
No. Put it back. That is where it belongs.
Come forward and say boldly that the legend was true.
secret to perpetual bad temper. As she grew older, she grew to be an institution. There were none like her, though there were many imitations. At this time, I owned a spice shop in Calcutta and was drinking rather heavily. One night, they say, I filled her full of red pepper and hung her from a beam in the Babu Mosque, a murder in the Indian manner. Luckily, the death of an Oriental woman in an Asiatic country does not attract much attention. Nevertheless, I swore to give up drink. That is why I dropped bazaar rum and took to the black smoke. One needs no wife if one is married to opium.
Am I dead by any chance?
Oh, why do you speak of death?
I came here to die.
And why is that?
I must join my friend Ali. He died last night. I heard the gurgle in his throat. We are partners, you see. And an angel is coming for me. A peg-legged angel.
Is this the angel who comes for you?
Father, how long have you been here?
We must hang up a large black jar outside the window to ward off the evil eye.
Yes, we'll do it now. And let us go to Camberwell.
I swear on the soul of your mother, no harm shall come to you, whatever happens to me.
Won't you come away with me now?
I can't now. I have started the pot. And when it is finished, the red and gold dragons will move about and fight.
Where are they?
There.
What is that?
That is my coffin. I brought it all the way from China with me. And when I die, it will go back with me and 2 ounces of smoke inside it, in case I should want some on the way.
What are we to do?
I don't know. This filthy place should be closed, and you should be thrown in prison.
And who are the greater criminals? Those who sell the instruments of vice, or those who use them?
My pipe's gone out.
I will light it.
No, please. He's half mad already. Please.
A woman's corpse is coming down the hill from the burning cart. She died at midnight from the heat.
For God's sake, man, can't you help us to get this poor fellow out of here?
That is the last thing that I'll help you to do, Watson, the last.
Holmes?
Shh, keep your voice down.
I got your message to meet you, but how do you come to be here?
The real Fung Ching is a friend of mine. With some assistance of helping him to solve the riddle of the Peking duck poisoning in Pentonville. These are his clothes. Now listen carefully. Lestrade has his police watching the street upstairs. That door there leads to a wall. There's a policeman out there. I've had word that Jonathan Small is checking all of the opium houses. When he comes here, I will be waiting.
What do you want me to do?
Take Miss Sinclair up to the slophouse that fronts this sordid place, but don't eat anything. And don't come back until I send for you. I want no distractions in case anything should happen.
Where's my pipe?
Oh, Dr. Watson, please look at him. His breath is so irregular.
I'm a bit screwed, but a dip in loggerhead will set me right.
Loggerhead? That's what our soldiers call the Oud River. He thinks he's in India.
Have you spoken to Wally Dowd about the pony's knees? Lend me 50 rupees.
Now, Captain, Loggerhead is 3,000 weary miles away. Strange to hear the old names again. I've served in India too, Captain. It's where I got my game leg.
The summer rains are late. Perhaps they come out of season. Come! Mrs. Sinclair has prepared a feast. We shall dine on the roof and look at the stars. But not many, for the sky is heavy with cloud. Come, put on your richest jewels.
He's fine.
And you are a gentleman. You shall share such hospitality as my poor house can afford.
Thank you.
Thanks, 1,000 thanks. I would introduce you to my wife. Were I sober, or she tolerable?
Captain,
Yes, Major.
it is dangerous if you remain here. You must come away.
Oh no, my dear, I'm so afraid of dying out in the open.
Father, I beg you.
If I can attain heaven with a pipe, why should you be envious?
He doesn't understand.
Heaven. It is not what I see in your face. I see effeminacy. I submitted to bondage. The spring of your will unbound like a broken clock. See yourself, in the robust period of your life, reduced to imbecility and decay. I cannot bear to see you like this. Here, smoke
exhausted. He's safe here, I promise. Holmes is with him.
What do you mean?
Here, come upstairs. Perhaps we can get some tea in that filthy cafe. I'll explain everything.
You were going to tell me the story of that piece of paper.
My pipe's gone out.
Tell me the story, and I will light it.
Sherlock,
Oh, damn.
whatever your name is.
You are well, Mr. Bertie?
How long have I been here?
Oh, you have brought the captain here last night. It is recently struck midnight.
The Persian and the Madras are terribly shaky now. They've got a boy to light their pipe for them. I always do that myself.
Oh, bloody hell. What am I going to tell her? Oh, how can I face her? Oh, I'm going to get home right away. Captain, you took me last penny. You took all my money. Do you remember? Oh, I don't even screw that filth. Oh, what am I going to tell my mother? Oh, what am I going to do?
Higher in the fort lies between the coppersmith's gully and the pipe stem seller's quarter. About 100 yards too from the mosque of Wazir Khan. I have a map.
And what happened that night in the Agra Fort? What happened?
He cursed us.
What was the curse?
Said if we betrayed him.
Hans!
Shh! Come to the fire and warm your hands. I will prepare a pipe for you.
I don't want any of your filthy poison. Where is Mr. Sherlock Holmes? I know he came down here. Have you drugged him? I warn you, I'm going to get public support to close down these dens of iniquity.
You have no little vices, Inspector Lestrade?
You are impertinent for an Oriental. I have no little vices.
One big vice in a man is apt to drive out a great many smaller ones. I refer to stupidity.
How dare you? And how do you know my name?
I forgot, man. I'm trying to get Sinclair to talk.
Holmes? You gave me a turn. I say, that is ingenious. How do you...
What do you want?
The case is solved. I know who helped Small. This is a statement from Bertie Johnson's mother. The woman robbed Ross and signed a confession which she gave to his solicitor with instructions to be sent to the police if anything happened to him. Isn't it clear? Blackmail. Johnson boy must have hated him. He is the one who unlocked the window and stole the thought.
Oh, no, it's too late. It's too late.
How long has he been here?
You brought the captain here last night.
I brought Sinclair here to kill him.
Oh, we shall not know that now, as you frightened him away. But for God's sake, man, you didn't let him escape. What's it?
Holmes, come upstairs quickly. God, I think Irene's been poisoned.
Oh, on earth. Oh, no. Mind. Lestrade, why are you standing there? Get him before you're too old to run. Watson, stay here and watch Sinclair. I will see to his daughter.
But Holmes,
Stay here.
My mother died violently. Alice.
Captain, I thought you were asleep.
No one will light my pipe. Why don't you go to sleep? The dogs are very still. The moon has gone out. The caravans go up and the caravans go down. 100 fires sparkle in the dust of the cars. Now it is quiet. Now I can dream. Small, is that you?
Nellie. Nellie.
Allie, come and talk to me.
Are you lonely?
Oh yes, I have been lonely ever since that night.
Well, come with me then.
Where are we going?
To the entrance. The entrance of the old quarter. We must stop Small as he comes out before he has a chance to hide the scroll.
You were to wait for me at the gate.
You are under arrest.
What's the charge?
You deserted your post, murdered the leper, and the 2 Indians for the money Wazir Khan gave them to hide the treasure. Just over 200 rupees more than you make in a year. We will hide it in your pockets.
I'll tell the truth about the chest.
No, you won't. Give us the scroll or we'll kill you now. Thank you. Without the scroll, you will have no way to find your way back through the labyrinth. There will be no evidence of the treasure. We will hide the scroll, and you I will take to the guardhouse.
No.
God help me.
You will spend the rest of your natural life on the Andaman Islands. It is so amusing. They breed strange mosquitoes there, Small. They bite repeatedly. always in the same place.
Over and over again. Then it infected. Fluid ran down month after month. Until one day, the iron rolled out into my hand.
No, no.
Why did you tell him about your leg?
It was torn off in a river. I don't know how. Some water beast, a shark or crocodile.
Oh God, can you ever forgive me?
No. You broke your oath.
Yes.
Now, I'd best leave you two alone. You must have so much to talk about after all these years.
Ali, don't go.
You know, it is strange to find oneself still in the swing of things. You realize that dead men's opinions in all things control the living truth? You follow dead men's religions, you laugh at dead men's jokes, you cry at dead men's papers. Everywhere and in all matters, dead men tyrannize over you. I quite like it.
Please don't go.
I'm afraid I must. But when we are cherubim together, my dear good friend, you will head up the conspiracy for plucking out Gabriel's tail feathers or stealing Peter's keys. And then I shall report you. Goodbye, old friend. Have a nice day.
Jonathan Small.
Yes, it is I. And you know what must follow.
The curse.
Aye. The curse.
It is good to see. Do me the honor to light my pipe,
With
then kill me.
pleasure, Captain.
I will lie back now, quiet and comfortable. Watch the red and gold dragons have their last big fight. Through the night and through the day, into the night again, I shall sleep and be the master of my dreams.
Here. Take a good, stout puff. Puff from the very bottom of your heart. If heart you have, or any bottom to it.
It is over.
God have mercy on your soul.
Lestrade! Lestrade! I've been admitted, Lestrade! I fear the worst.
Is he all right?
Drugged. I found her 2 streets away. Heard the dilated pupils and the reduced circulation. The teapot was still on the table, laced with a great deal of our opium, a distinctly bitter taste. She'll be herself in a few hours. I have other alarming and more pressing concerns. Where is Johnson?
He got away. Far front of that. But not to worry, I sent all my men after him.
All your men, including the one who was watching the wharf?
Oh, surely, just Watson was here.
If you will look over here, Lestrade, you'll see that Watson is fast asleep, drugged, I have no doubt, by that same Lascar devil upstairs with the same pot of tea.
Well, no harm done. Everything seems to be in order.
In perfect order for the killer, the drugging created a splendid diversion for Small to slip in here and murder Sinclair.
Sinclair is dead.
Use your eyes, man. Is he breathing?
This is awkward, Hans. Right under our noses, as it were.
I've never been so fiendishly tricked.
Holmes, what happened?
Are you rational, man?
I think so. Oh God, I fell asleep.
I told you not to eat anything. How much of that tea did you drink?
Tea? In the cafe? Only a little, Why, you mean... Oh God, Irene had 2 cups.
Somebody bribed that Lascar brute to put opium pills in the teapot.
Oh God, Irene!
She'll be all right. An unpleasant experience for the young girl, but by no means fatal.
Well, you were wrong, Hans. There are no signs of violence. No prick marks either. This man was not murdered. Look at this.
Again, what does it mean? Why were these men tyrannized rubbish. Watson.
Same symptoms as Major Ross.
Another thorn. This one placed in the stem of his pipe where there is a thick and sticky residue. One might have to draw quite hard on the stem to inhale the smoke, and that drew the thorn into the mouth. These things are so deadly that they have only to break the skin in order to prove fatal.
Holmes, how can you forgive me? You left me in care of the captain and I fell asleep.
I never reach your limits, Watson. There are untold possibilities about you. Give you a drug which sends most people into trances of sensual pleasure, and you merely fall asleep.
Please, Holmes.
It is not your fault. It is opium, for some sweet dreams, for others. There's not a moment to lose.
Well, where are we going?
You're kept small, need I remind you that he has finished his work?
My God, the treasure.
Exactly. If you have to catch him, you must leave at once.
But where is he?
He's on a boat. I can't take the time now, I'll explain on the way. Watson, bring Mr. Clare upstairs, we'll find a policeman and take him to Baker Street. Data. I cannot make bricks without clay.
Well, what do you mean?
The curse of Lestrade, what was the precise phrasing of that curse?
Father,
I am here.
oh, you must advise me.
Gladly.
I think I am in love.
What? While I have been away?
Even so,
Well, the plunge must have been very sudden.
it was. Head over ears, as deep as a well.
And why do you love him?
He is rare and kind. Kindness? What a strange word to find on anyone's lips these days. It is like a style in clothes which is no longer worn. What can one do with such a word?
It has a way of coming round every now and then when one least expects it.
Military band stops a moment for the breath. Hunters pause to sleep. And there is kindness again, nestling stubbornly in people's hearts, ready for the millennium.
What is his name?
His name is John. John.
Oh, my dear.
Well, I can't see anything in this. It's a real place, Sherlock.
Keep your voice down, Lestrade. Surprise is our chief weapon. We can be thankful for Her Majesty's Jubilee. All the vessels are at anchor, waiting for their clearance to get out of the harbour.
How did you reach the conclusion that he was on a boat?
I reached this one by sitting on 5 pillows and consuming an ounce of shag.
No, I hope the wild goose has not proved to be the end of our chase.
No, I think not. A one-legged man, his companion, no matter how conventionally dressed, would attract some attention. The sea would be their best form of travel.
How could you possibly know which port he went to?
While the reader from which he was watching St. Clair, I went to Gravesend. That is the most sordid of our ports. Few questions are asked at Gravesend, and as there is no honor among thieves, the Pound Note will buy you all the information you want. They're on a schooner called the Glorious Scot.
Those are not the methods I would have used.
I'd be delighted to hear them.
Well, in the first place...
But not now. Keep a sharp eye, if you please. The Glorious Scot is dead ahead.
Keep off! Keep off! Leave me, you brute white beasts! For years and years I groped into your hearts and found nothing there for my purpose. Get ye gone! Keep away until I have finished my life's work!
Lestrade, the pygmy!
No! No! Go ahead and fire! Life means nothing to me. Only let me throw this cursed poison to the sea. Only the sea will have it. And so ends the story.
Jonathan Small, I arrest you for the willful murder of Alistair Ross and Neville St. Clair.
Yes, their deaths lie on my soul. For heaven's sake, answer me one single thing.
Of course.
Is it drowned? Is it in the sea?
Yes, it is.
Who are you?
I'm Sherlock Holmes.
Ah, you're the clever one. I knew it wasn't him. You led me a merry dance, Mr. Holmes.
May I return the compliment, Mr. Small? Some of your maneuvers were quite beyond me. Would you mind answering one or two questions?
Yes. Yes, I should like to leave some account of the business behind me. I don't want to be remembered as a common cutthroat.
Who is your accomplice?
Tonga.
The pygmy?
He helped me escape from prison. And good he was too, the crafty little devil. I couldn't kill Ross until I found out where the treasure was. Tonga sat in the tree all day until he found out. Then I got you gentlemen out of the room, and he killed Ross.
Who is your accomplice inside the house?
No.
Who did you bribe
No.
to retrieve the dart?
No one. We didn't need to retrieve any darts. We had plenty of them.
You had no accomplice inside the house?
No.
Then who opened the window?
No one.
I suppose now you tell us you always intended to throw the treasure into the sea.
Not at first. But when I saw those two men, Ross and Sinclair, I knew I'd come out on top. The treasure did that to them, and fear the curse.
What was the curse?
That they should die by my hand, that each man's piece of the oath should lie on his own dead chest. They were tombstones.
So that is why you put Sinclair's piece on his body.
No, but I didn't.
You didn't?
No. He just looked at me, and then he died.
What, you mean you didn't kill him?
No, I swear it!
Good God, man, what have you done?
What more have I to seek? You were the only being I ever found to companion me. A shrunken savage with barely 2 words of my own lingo. Didn't he look fine in his new frock coat? We both laughed when he put it on. Now he's gone. What more have I to achieve? I was a good man when I was young, but always lured away by phantoms. Love, fame, money. A meteor of many names that vanishes into the smoke of death. What more have I to achieve? My work is done, and well done. Where's my piece of the Crucifer? Do you have it about you?
I do.
Oh, put it on my chest, Mr. Holmes. Let me die on it as the others did. A trinity of stupid men. There it is. A symbol, bloody symbol of greed. Let me die under it and be forgotten. I thank you, Mr. Holmes.
He told you what you want to know. God keep his soul.
Yes.
Of course it was all lies.
He told me everything he knew, but it's not enough. It's not enough. There's something else.
Mr. Johnson.
Yes, miss. Is Mr. Holmes here?
No, there's no one here. I mean, they will return soon.
Well, it's just as well. You're the one I want to talk to anyway.
About what?
Not only miss. I want you to help me.
How?
Not near. The police are looking for me, you know.
Yes. What do you want with me?
Is there some place where we might talk? Here, come on.
Well, we have only to arrest Bertie Johnson and the case is complete. I say, Holmes, you haven't said anything for over an hour. I said the case is complete.
Is it?
Isn't it obvious?
It strikes me, my good Lestrade, as being just a trifle too obvious.
Excuse me, gentlemen, I'm going to look in on Miss Sinclair.
She's probably still asleep.
Look at the facts, Holmes. Johnson is present at the time of both murders. He unlocked the window, the logs thereby aiding the pygmy, and he lured the police away from the opium house, thereby aiding Small.
For what reason?
For money, to get his mother out of the country. But we apprehend Small before he can pay Johnson off.
I'll not deny that the evidence is very strongly in favour of your theory.
I suppose now, Holmes, you're going to prove me wrong?
I formed no conclusion whatsoever.
I formed mine yesterday. Now it proves to be complete. So you must acknowledge I'm a little in front of you this time.
What is that noise?
And that was Lestrade's little cockadoodle of victory. How's Miss St. Clair?
I peeked through the door. She's asleep. I must say I'm awfully jumpy. That poor fellow has put me completely on edge.
Small. Why is that?
Well, I felt he was telling the truth.
Did you?
I am a practical man, Mr. Holmes. When I've got my evidence, I form my conclusions. I have enough trouble tackling facts without flying away with theories and fancies.
You are right.
I am?
Yes, you find it very hard to tackle facts.
Oh.
Yes. Yes, all the evidence points to the same conclusion, and yet I know it is all wrong. I feel it in my bones. Well, Watson, no use talking about it. And unless some lucky chance comes our way, I fear that the case of the bloody Crucifer will not figure in that chronicle of our success, which I fear that a patient public will sooner or later have to endure.
You can hardly find a flaw in the case against Johnson. All further investigation has merely served to strengthen it.
The case is as plain as a pikestaff.
Did you discount everything that Small said?
Not quite. He said he didn't want to be remembered as a cutthroat, and that's why he lied.
Well, let us not leave the poor man's body in the police wagon. They'll be waiting for our statements at Bow Street.
Well, what about the chest?
I promised Miss St. Clair that she could see it.
Well, I suppose it will be safe here tonight in the house of the great detective. But Watson should stay here just in case.
I should like to be here when Miss Sinclair awakens, in any event. She does not know that her father is dead.
That is a task I do not envy, Watson. Come along, Lestrade. Let's get this over with.
Watson, will you please convey to that young lady my condolences?
Yes. No. I will wait for her. Irene! You are magnificent!
Thank you, John. It was my mother's wedding dress. I've been saving it for a special occasion.
Special occasion?
It is here.
Irene, you certain you're feeling well? Are you feeling yourself? The
I'm
opium?
quite myself, John. Open it.
No, first I must tell you about Captain Sinclair.
Open the chest first.
Yes, why not? Let us be carefree for a moment. We've all seen enough horror this long night.
Spill it onto the floor. I want to see it flung about.
Are you certain you're feeling well?
John, the effects of the drug have long worn off.
Very well. Ah, 'tis a bonny thing. Oh, look how it glints and sparkles against the light. Of course, it is the nucleus and the focus of crime. Every good stone is. They are the devil's pet baits.
Put it down.
Irene, you said you were saving that dress. For what occasion?
A dream come true?
No, my dear, it's not right. I must tell you, your father is dead.
Yes. That is a special occasion.
No, you don't know what you're saying. Perhaps you should lie down.
You think I am mad? Too many shocks for a young lady. Oh, John. The moment I walked through that door and looked into your eyes, I knew I could do it.
Do what?
Persuade you and Mr. Holmes to help me get what is, if not legally, then rightfully mine.
Am I dreaming?
If you are, then this will wake you. I opened the window upon a cherry ledge. I took the other thorn out of Major Ross's neck and put it into my father's pipe. My hand was trembling, so I thought I would surely pierce my own skin and die. But it didn't matter. By then I was on fire. I thought nothing in the world could stop me. And now, I'm going to kill you and take what I have won.
Why, you miserable, miserable wretch!
Miserable? You think it misery to control the mighty, to trick a great detective? Misery. To be as terrible as one is beautiful. Ah, yes. You would prefer the condition of a weak woman, exposable evil capable of none.
You cannot possibly hope to succeed. You think that Holmes will find my body and not realize what has happened? You'll be the most hounded criminal in Europe.
I think not. Lady Johnson was kind enough to call just before you and Holmes returned. I took the liberty of killing him. He was in your bed when you came to see if I was all right. When the police arrived, this is the way it will appear. Johnson came here to collect his share of the treasure. There was a struggle. You stabbed him, he shot you. Someone heard the shot and came to find a large chest full of jewels. Naturally, they took it. Every policeman on the force will be under suspicion. But what happened to the young woman? She's vanished into the fog, driven mad by the death of her father, and the more terrible death of her lover.
You are a horror!
And you are a darling. You are my biggest ally, thanks chiefly to your gullibility. I have done it!
Yes, you poisonous thing, you have done it! And with my assistance, you have made me as hateful a creature as yourself! Well, if our breath is as fatal to ourselves as it is to others, let us join our lips in one kiss of unspeakable hatred and die!
Ahead with the body.
Whose body?
Small's.
Small is dead. I must say, fate seems to be smiling on me for a change. Why did you come back? I'm curious.
My dagger. You moved my dagger from the mantel.
I needed it. Johnson saw me open the window upon a cherry lodge.
So you have killed poor Johnson and Watson as well.
Johnson was too stupid to live. He would never have survived. And you don't seem very concerned about Watson.
I am too awed by you. I cannot think of anything else.
I have done rather well, haven't I?
So well that I do not understand all of it.
I thought you were omniscient, Mr. Holmes. But tell me, surely moving the dagger was the thing that gave me away?
No, it was merely the catalyst. It began a new train of thought. You see, Miss St. Clair, once you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth. There were others in the room when Ross was murdered, but you were the only one who could have killed St. Clair if Small was telling the truth.
You could have saved my father. I put that thorn in his pipe right under your nose. But you were too busy showing your Chinese costume to Watson. Tell me, what was my mistake?
The crucifer. You should not have put it on your father's body. Small felt responsible for your father's death, but he did not put the paper on his body.
Crucifer. Well, no one's perfect.
You were close to perfect, Miss St. Clair. How did you manage the opium? I tasted the remains in that teapot, and I examined you. You were drugged. How could you play that pathetic scene in the opium house so securely with opium in your body?
There have been opium pills in our house since I was 15, Mr. Holmes. I've discovered a long time since that opium can be an excellent diversion to the long, long nights in Camberwell. I am virtually inured to it.
That is so grotesque, but I admit it never entered my mind.
Grotesque. For a young girl to use opium. But it is perfectly acceptable for the great detective to use cocaine!
Why did you come to me in the first place?
When the cruiser arrived in the post 2 days ago, my father told me the whole story. It was the first time I knew that $1 million in jewels had been entrusted to the care of 3 madmen. I could not compete with them. So I came to the great consulting detective. I thought, let him find the treasure for me, while I assist in every way I can to enact the curse. I depended upon 2 facts: that you wouldn't suspect your own client, and that you would never believe a proper young woman to be capable of such atrocity. I was right on both counts. Now it is over, and there is only one man between me and the treasure. You, yourself. And I have a pistol.
Fire it. Go on, Miss St. Clair, I pray you, fire that pistol! You have made another mistake. That is Watson's starting pistol. He officiates at races and such. It is filled with blank cartridges. He fainted. Perfectly understandable under the circumstances, don't you think? Up, old boy, up!
Oh, shot. I'm all right. Just let me catch my breath.
Well, Mr. Holmes, I congratulate you.
Lestrade will be along in a few moments, Watson, then she will be gone.
Is the prisoner allowed one last request, Mr. Holmes?
What is it?
Let me wear something. Just until the inspector arrives.
Why not?
Thank you, Mr. Holmes. I am content.
You are an unnatural creature, Miss St. Clair.
Revenge is the law of human nature.
Revenge? Upon your own father?
You destroyed my mother.
With a pistol, a dagger, a thorn?
With syphilis. Ah, the power. The absolute power of that word. Syphilis. The gift of an English or Indian whore. Charming, isn't it? She brought him her love and her fortune. And he, by variety of life, had become diseased and thought to rid himself of it by bringing it to her. He made a torture room of her body. The wheel, the rack, a bed of nails. What are these the last stages of that disease? Nature herself is the tormentor. Nature at last, cast down upon the wretch, searches through every vein, makes a rod of every nerve, and with the scorching feet a pain to travel on. It builds fire in the brain and casts living coals of torment on the heart. So before her eyes were eaten out, her nose rotted away, her skull decayed as to expose it to the size of a man's fist, she threw herself under the wheels of a train. Am I a natural gentleman? The case is closed. Inspector Lestrade, thank goodness. Comic relief.
That is true. I wouldn't have believed it. How did you... Well, never mind, you can tell me the details later. Well, all's well and ends well. I mean, we have the jewels, we have her, and we have this from Buckingham Palace.
Her Majesty, Queen Victoria, Empress of India, will receive Inspector tomorrow at 10 a.m. to convey her personal thanks and receive from his hands the great treasure of Agra.
I will, of course, tell Her Majesty of your assistance, Mr. Holmes.
Congratulations, Lestrade.
Up, James. Put those gills in that.
Oh, blimey!
Give your opinion, see yourself. Come on, my lady.
There's a dead body in the next room. Bertie Johnson.
Holmes, what shall I put in my report?
Put this. A young woman inherits a family graveyard. That all there be remains of a rich hereditary possessions.
Write that this woman had been nourished with poisons from her birth upward. That she was so imbued with them that she herself had become the deadliest poison in existence. Poison was the element of life. Her love would have been poison. Her embrace, death. Thus men, by their own selfishness, unwittingly fashion a creature to rule over themselves.
Hey, Mr. Holmes. You do understand.
I don't remember all that.
I will repeat it to you in a police wagon, Inspector. You can make notes.
Yes, thank you.
And when you see the Queen tomorrow, tell the old girl to be careful.
How's that?
That treasure is cursed. It has destroyed the lives of everyone who's touched it since the leper first carried it into Agra.
You're saying it might possibly destroy Her Majesty, perhaps the entire British Empire?
Give it to her and see.
Your father's case away in our archives, Watson. Perhaps someday the true story can be told. My dear friend, there is nothing more to be said or done. You have the heartache, I have the cocaine bottle. Lestrade has the credit. So, let me fetch my violin. Let us try to forget for half an hour the miserable weather, and the still more miserable